Casual, I love it.
Rick, obviously no Nikolai on the ice. Are we to assume that he's probably out tonight? Or?
It was an optional skate, so he took the option, and he is a game-time decision.
Okay. Do you expect that he'd at least take the warm-up?
Game-time decision. You keep pushing.
We try.
Oh, I'll bite one day, probably.
Would any of the other guys that weren't on the ice today be game-time decisions, or you?
No, anyone that wasn't out there, we're expected to play.
Yeah.
What concern, if any, is there regarding Morgan's status relative to him playing, Rick?
Well, he spoke with him this morning, and he got through yesterday okay. We were concerned the swelling would increase yesterday, but it didn't, and he's fine out there this morning. We'll see how he is tonight. We'll have extra guys out there and warm up anyways, and at this point, we're planning on Morgan playing.
Okay, so he's not a game-time decision. It sounds like he is. You're fairly
Well, at this point, he's playing. If he shows up here tonight and there was a reaction to his workout this morning, then we'll have to make that decision at that point. But as we speak, we fully expect him to play.
Rick, you've probably seen over all your years, not to
Here we go.
date you, but you've probably
See how
seen
that's
guys.
always brought up.
Look at that, huh?
That's a nice way to say it.
As a seasoned hockey,
There we go, there we go.
You've seen guys play through and suffer all kinds of injuries and play through things, especially in playoff time. Where does sort of Morgan, just the visual of it is quite jarring. So, is this kind of going down in playoff lore a little bit?
Yes, without a doubt. And we talked about that with the group this morning. You talk about all in, man. That's all in. When you're laying there for that long to get stitched up like that, and you come back out with a cage on, and you don't even hesitate to get back on the ice, and you don't even hesitate to go out there and run over somebody, which he did in the corner on his first shift, man. That's all in. And we showed a clip this morning of him when he played in Cornell, and they wore those cages in college, right? So he's used to the cage. I don't think anyone's used to playing with the cut that he received the other night. So we take a lot of pride. Athletes take a lot of pride in their ability to overcome injuries. Hockey players are really good at that. And you see guys freezing hands and ankles and elbows and everything else just to play in the playoffs. And Morgan was completely intent. He missed as many shifts as he wanted to miss, so I give him full marks. But that ranks near the top.
We talked a little bit about David Gustafson and Dylan Sandberg. They obviously made their debuts the other day. Did you have any extra words of wisdom for them before their debuts, or you just kind of let them go about their normal practice?
Just talk to them to calm down. Just be yourself out there. It's playoffs, okay. So the intensity is up, okay. You still have to play your game. So no, they were fine. I talked to them again this morning on the ice. They both handled it very, very well. And that's, you hope, you never know how they're going to handle the playoffs just because of all the noise going into the game. But they both handled it very well.
Yeah, and Dylan's been an interesting guy, right? Because there was a time he was out of the lineup, but then he'd come in and you weren't afraid to use him even on that top pair, when injuries hit. So he just seems like a pretty cool customer.
He is, and listen, as you all know, the defense, playing in this league as a defenseman, you have a lot to learn. So there was a couple of games he made some mistakes, and you give him a break, and then you throw him right back in. And they're playing. You've got to continue. Scotty's done a great job with them, and you got to continue to show confidence in them. They're going to make mistakes, and if you penalize every mistake they make, they're not going to grow. You've got to encourage them to keep playing, and if they make mistakes, but then you have to keep playing them to show the confidence in them, and that helps them grow.
There's going to be pushback from Vegas tonight. What do you prioritize?
We know they're going to be far more aggressive on their forecheck. So we spoke about that this morning. It's about us getting in their way and slowing them up a little bit and not overhandling the puck. Get the thing moving. Don't stop in the corner. Don't stop behind the net. Let's just keep the puck moving. But in order to do that, you need everyone back to help so he can make those quick, easy plays. But we don't want to expend any unnecessary time in our zone.
This might sound absurd because it's the playoffs. It might sound ridiculous, but is there any element of this that could be a trap game after you finally prove you can bring your A game and beat these guys?
No, I don't think so. No, we talked about that this morning. Listen, there was 4 games last night. 3 of them are 1-1. There's only one other team with 2-0, so we're in a position to help ourselves a lot. So no trap game. We can't be satisfied. It's as we keep telling them. We talked about it again today. As the series goes on, every game gets harder to win. Every game. 2's harder to win than 1. 3's harder to win than 2, and especially the 4th game. So we know what we're up against tonight.
When a player gets hurt like that, are you able to compartmentalize it? Or as a human, are you still thinking about the guys, right? I think back to Manny Malhotra when something gets up around the eye and you just have to go about coaching.
Yeah, you do, but listen, I had to talk to him. I said, you sure you're okay? You sure you want to, like, I'm not throwing him out there if there was any hesitancy at all. He said, no, I'm ready, I'm fine, I can see, and you wanted to go. So, but that's a conversation I had to have him on the bench because he was still being stitched up when we came back out to start the period. But we had that conversation, and I also told the next left winger up, you keep your eye on Morgan because it might be a short shift. He might have come off after 5-6 seconds. So we were prepared for it, but just talking to him on the bench, there was no hesitancy on his part to go back out there.
Rick, was Chandler Stevenson pulling Morgan away from that accident site, one of the finer shows of sportsmanship you've just seen in years?
Yeah, it was. I'm sure there was he saw what happened, and good for him to do that. Yeah, I love seeing that stuff. Like, we're out there to win, we're out there to compete, we're out there to battle each other, we're out there to make life miserable for each other, but there comes a point when one of your peers is seriously hurt and it looks bad, then you've got to help them, so I give him full marks for that.
Thanks, Rich.
Good, thank you.